on your Bible, son, before you come back and try and argue with me on television. We are talking, though, about today. We're talking about the attacks today on the Palestinian people in Gaza and in the West Bank. We are talking about Afghanistan today and what is going to happen between now and 2014, when the so-called ISAF is due to withdraw from the country. Some ask what that will look like. I think it will look like May Day of 1975, the rooftop of the American embassy in Saigon, the ambassador scrambling desperately into the helicopter, the Vietnamese people rushing up the stairs to try and pull his helicopter down out of the sky, the occupier leaving all of its hirelings and collaborators to their fate, not even giving them passports so that they can go and join the people who are now escaping out of harm's way. That's what I think it's going to look like. But it might not. They may make a negotiation through the new Taliban office in Doha, in Qatar. Amal is on the line in Wolverhampton. Wants to talk about both these subjects. Amal, welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Galloway.
Good evening, madam.
I'd like to speak about the current situation about Palestine and the country called herself Israel. Mr. Galloway, first of all, Israel is a crazy country. It's like a junk. Every few years they have to go to war. 2003 was in Iraq, 2006 was in Lebanon, 2008 and 9 was Gaza, 2012 was Gaza again. And
but they lost in 2006, and they certainly didn't win in Gaza. In fact, in the 8-day war, just recently, they were scared to set foot inside Gaza.
Yes, Mr. Galloway, but they are junk and they need a fix. They are lunatics. But let me talk about the Palestinian. Mr. Galloway, we love the Palestinian. We do and want to see a Palestinian state. But sorry to say that, Mr. Galloway, the will of the Palestinian people is not there. Don't say the Arab, don't say the Muslim, don't say the earth, don't say the nation, but what I'm talking is as a Palestinian. The Palestinian will is not there. They are fighting with each other, Hamas and Fatah, Palestinian to Palestinian. They are not sovereign enough. If the Palestinians are willing really to go and to have a country called Palestine, I think 5 million Palestinians, if they march wherever they are, in Gaza, in Palestine, in Egypt, in Lebanon, in Syria, at least 1,000 or maybe 100,000 will be dead. A friend of mine said to me, it's impossible. You cannot remove Mubarak. Mubarak is removed. And I believe if they work, the Palestinian, because this Al-Quds, Mr. Galloway, I'm not really going to will again for the Palestinian because there is no will for the Palestinian. They don't have no country, but they do not know what to decide. We cannot decide for them. They have to march. Then we will march after them.
Well, that's a very powerful and emotional call. It's certainly true that the Palestinian national movement is deeply divided. Just last evening, after I left the camp in Shatila, there was a problem between Palestinian factions in the camp. And breaking on the news this evening on Press TV, there's a serious explosion in Ain al-Hilwi camp outside of Beirut, and which has caused many, many injuries. The Palestinian people are divided, and that's why I said earlier they have to unite with one address, with one set of demands. Let's squeeze Mixon in from Malawi, just because I haven't had Malawi on the line for a while. Quickly, Mixon, you've got 1 minute.
Thank you, George. Good evening, George.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you. I wanted to give a comment on the Palestinians. I don't know why the Americans...
What a pity. Look, Mixon, you'll need to come back next week because I needed 60 crisp seconds from you, but the telephone lines have frustrated us to Africa all evening. I've been George Galloway. This has been Comment, and of course, this is Press TV. It remains the voice of the voiceless. God willing, I'll be back here next Thursday, same time, same place. Join me. Bring someone else with you.
Hello, if you just comment your name and a picture with that number, and just make sure your television volume's set to 0. So 0. Can you spell your name for me? Yeah, I know. You'll be directly put through. Just leave your phone number, and then we'll call you back. Comment. And can I have your telephone number? Okay, so I'll then comment after this. If you call you back, can you make sure